Hey Christian, I got your helmet here. As you can see, this came out super clean. I have the gold detailing in there like you talked about, as well as the silver visor here and the LEDs integrated into here. So a few details about this helmet. First of all, it is split into two pieces because the bottom is narrower than the center. So basically, you want to be very careful with this front part because it couldn't print in one piece. So this lower half and top half had to be connected. I mean, you can't tell anymore because I puttied those lines and whatnot, so it looks like one piece. But this lower half you want to be very careful with. So I usually try and grab as much of it equally as I can. And then your back piece, and these can separate. So there's elastic in two spots at the top to hold that, right about there in the middle. Magnets on the inside of that, as well as these bars you could see sticking out. So basically open it wide enough to slip your head in. And then once your head is inside, and you can sort of feel around to do this, you just lower these, I'm trying to make sure I don't dink the painting while I'm doing this, but you lower these tabs into where they hold. So you can see right there. And you could do this just by feel when you're putting it on. It's a very tight process because it is scaled to your head circumference. So it takes a little bit of finagling, and obviously if there's someone there to help, that also helps a lot. But these tabs, because of the shape of this helmet, never actually had this problem before, but this back half was having a real tough time staying connected to the front half. And obviously you don't want this flopping around while you're wearing it. So you can see now, this is very sturdy as one unit once it's shut, and it doesn't just pop out from pressure. And these in here help to hold it level with the top there in exactly where it's supposed to sit. Another thing that I want to let you know is the inside of this visor. If I could get maybe some better lighting, but this light only turns one way. The inside of this visor is a brighter silver than the outside. Now, this is the side that's meant to be facing out. However, if you did like the look of this brighter silver on the inside, if you like shine a flashlight on it, you can really tell. It is one way in both directions. It's just easier to see out when you have the correct side facing out. But if you did feel like you wanted to switch it, I went ahead and made the visor a little extra wide on the inside when I glued it in. So it's just hot glued. You could pop this whole thing out carefully, obviously, since it's just hot glue, flip it, and then hot glue it in reversed. I made it extra wide so that when you flip it, that glue shouldn't show through over here if you did decide to flip that. But again, that's only if you really feel strongly that you prefer to just have that brighter silver instead of the one that you see here. Other than that, we have the LEDs in the back here. So when I turn those on, you can see it's really nice and diffused through those. So these panels are only a certain size, so we really lucked out that these sections were exactly the right size to have that LED integration put in there. And I do think that that just adds a really cool little detail to that helmet while you're walking around. And then you can turn those off. The on-off switch is on the battery box, which is in this back panel right here. So shouldn't affect you putting the helmet on or anything like that. And it is hot glued with the panel facing down. So you have your on-off switch on top. There we go. And you can see it illuminates those. And then if you need to change the batteries, what you're going to do is you're going to slide the top half of this box this way, which if you're looking at the boxes to the left, it'll pop off that back plate, which is attached to the helmet. You can replace the batteries, and I am including these batteries, but you can replace the batteries, and then you just put it down a little bit ahead and slide it back onto that back plate. So that should cover everything. The wires are nice and tamped down and stuff, so you won't have to worry about any of those taking it on and off. And they are pretty small LEDs and have 2 AAAs, so they should last a good while. Yeah, that I think covers just about everything. came out real nice. If you have any other questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help. And sorry for the abrupt cut. I realized I forgot to explain the foam I'm including. So these are the pre-cut foam inserts that I'll be including in the package. These ones are also quite long, so if you do, for whatever reason, need more, you could just split this in half and double them. But you can see they're two different thicknesses here. Basically, you put the helmet on, shake it around wherever you feel spaces of room. You can super hot glue, whatever glue that you have that isn't Elmer's glue, basically. You can attach one of these in that spot. I try and go symmetrically, so like near the temples or the side of the head or 2 spots on the back. If your eyes aren't in line with that visor where you want them to be, if your eyes are sitting a little high, you can put some above your head, and that will lower your eye line in line with the visor. But really, you just need like 3 to 4 solid points of contact. So glue one in, put the helmet back on, or 2, you know, if you're doing symmetrically. Shake it around. If there's still more room, maybe add one in the back. Still more room, you can layer another one directly on, glue it directly on top of the previous one to fill in more space, or using these. I recommend, though, using small increments. Like, these are good to start, but these are great for just increasing that by that small increment, because it's easier to go up than back. I think that should cover everything with the foam. If you have any other questions, though, again, feel free to reach out. All right.